Hi everybody, Mike King with Profiling Evil. I had the chance tonight to jump onto Court TV with Vinnie Politan, and we were talking about the Orson and Orson West case out in California City. Now this case is rolled over to Bakersfield for investigation. It's gone on for 4 months. Check out this video and let's talk in a moment.
If they just find them, I just want my kids back to me. Whatever they want me to do, I'll do it again for my kids. I just hope they're okay.
That is the mother of little Orrin and Orson West. Those are two children. She's the biological mother. Those two children that she had were adopted by a young couple. That young couple from Bakersfield, California, then moved to Cal City, California City. And they moved there in the fall of last year, in September, and then they're there for a few months, and the children disappear in December. 2 toddlers, ages 3 and 4, just vanished. Our great affiliate, KERO, has more for us tonight.
The Cal City community is still distraught over the 2 missing boys. There is now a new addition to the neighborhood. This is a small memorial, leaving candles and toys, hoping the toddlers come home safely.
We'll have to get together as a community and just try to help find these children ourselves and do the best we can.
With guns drawn, authorities enter the California City home of Trezell and Jacqueline West, the adoptive parents of 3-year-old Orson West and 4-year-old Orrin West. The parents told authorities their 2 boys disappeared from their backyard on December 21st and believe someone kidnapped them.
They do not just roam around, you know, these patches. They definitely, I think definitely would have been picked up or something.
We have no way of knowing how they got out of the yard. Nothing that shows how they got out of the yard and if they wandered out of the yard.
California City Police Chief John Walker believes this is now more than just a missing persons case. He believes foul play was involved.
Someone knows. And I would hope that person would come forward.
And that's why Walker says authorities have paid so much attention on the couple's home, even digging up the backyard.
We're just trying to dig up anything, any clues that we can possibly find to find out where they had gone and also to confirm they're not in the backyard.
Lots of noise like jackhammering or roto hammering, like they were trying to dig through dirt or break concrete.
The adoptive parents gave their account of what happened, claiming that the 2 boys went outside to play with chalk while their adoptive mother wrapped their Christmas presents. Their adoptive father said that he left the gate open. When he realized the boys were gone, he began searching for them. The adoptive parents declined an interview today, saying police advised them to stay inside, leaving some to wonder why.
I would be nonstop looking if it was my child. He wouldn't even keep me inside.
200 volunteers who dedicated around 4 hours looking for any clues that could lead to the West boys' whereabouts. Some volunteers shared with 23 ABC that they walked nearly 5 miles canvassing the area. Amongst the group were the boys' biological mother.
If they find my kids, can they just give them back to me? Whatever I have to do to work on it, to get them. I have a home, I have a car, I have a job, I have money. It's nothing to provide for them. I come from a good background, as you can see, and I don't understand. I just want my babies. If they find them, just give them back to me, please. That's all I want.
Throughout the search, you could occasionally hear groups shouting and waving to law enforcement if they found something of interest. And if it turned out to be an item of possible significance, it was then taken in for analyzation. But there was one item they found that stood out.
Basically, what we found was a piece of or a gift bag with the name of one of the children on it. But being in such close proximity to the house, that's not super unusual. But it's something we definitely want to take a look at.
Although the boys have yet to be located and no arrests have been made or suspects named, this community says they will ensure the boys won't be overlooked.
From every neighbor you guys spoke to, not a single sight of them?
No. No.
When was the most recent that a neighbor cited they'd seen the kids?
None of the neighbors have seen the kids.
Ever?
No.
Despite search efforts that haven't turned up anything, neighbors are still trying to think positive during a dark time in this small community.
Hopefully, they'll find the children alive.
A little more information that the young couple that adopted these toddlers had 4 other children, 2 biological, 2 others who were adopted between the ages of 3 and 10, 6 children. The other 4 were not home at the time that they reported the 2 youngest had disappeared. Those 4 were with the grandmother. And, you know, this is baffling. Let's bring in Salt Lake City, Utah retired police commander, the host of Profiling Evil, and the global director for emergency communications and fraud at Esri. Mike King is with us. Mike is also the author of Deceived, an investigation memoir of the Zion Society cult. Mike, it's been 4 months now, right? 4 months since these children have disappeared. What are the biggest challenges right now for investigators?
Well, this case is kind of crazy, Vinny, because we've seen it change from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, which makes you wonder if the children ever even made it to Colorado City. And there are lots of speculations around that very idea because no neighbor ever saw them there. The interesting thing is I don't know whether it's a issue with manpower and resources or an issue that really there's more that's going to happen in Bakersfield than was going to happen in California City. And that's why we saw the police department take over that investigation and move the responsibility, along with the fact that we saw a few search warrants immediately after changing venues.
Yeah, I want to take a listen to the father because, again, there was a press conference in the front yard. We're going to show more of it tonight. We showed part of it last night. And he's talking about what happened. Let's listen.
They came missing right before it got dark. And then we called. I searched that property. I even drove around this neighborhood right here. I even talked to a gentleman on that side, one of those streets over there. I said, "Did you see some little black kids?"
Did you go that way looking for them?
That's the way I was going to come. But when I came back home, I decided to call the cops because it was dark. They couldn't have got away that fast.
And why did it take 2 people to go in the house and leave 2 kids out here by themselves? It should have been 1 parent going in and 1 parent right here watching the child, not 2 parents going in the house and leaving 2 little kids out here by themselves for 10 minutes.
No, they were in the backyard. And the back gate was open.
Out the backyard?
And the back gate was open, and I was getting wood from this lot here.
All right, Mike, I've got a map, an aerial map of the house, because, again, he's saying that they're in the backyard, they got out of the gate. So let's zoom in and we'll take a look at their home here in Cal City. And what you see highlighted is the home on the left-hand side. Then on the right-hand side, this is the empty lot next to the home where apparently he's looking for some firewood, right? It's a little bit cold. So he's looking for some firewood. You know, I'm looking at this map. I'm looking at the neighborhood. The topography is very flat. I don't think that someone could come by in a car, grab those kids, and he not notice it, because for them to get out of that gate, they've got to go out the side and on the side of the house. It's not in the back where the gate was open. Do you think there's any way that this could have been someone in a vehicle that comes by that somehow takes the opportunity because there's 2 toddlers that are wandering outside of a gate?
You know, I guess it's possible, Vinny, and we have to look at what is more likely or more probable. And the thing that was interesting to me is that the police searched that area with ground-penetrating radar. They searched it thoroughly with dogs. They didn't find any evidence to suggest the children went out. In fact, what they found are more impeachable things, I believe, when they said that the parents said, well, the children were in the back with Chalk. There's been lots of discussion about, is Chalk a dog or were they playing with Chalk? In looking at the aerial imagery that's been collected by people and the drone imagery, there's no chalk drawings on the sidewalk. Interestingly, I actually had a neighbor send me some photographs from that home's backyard. There are no dog dishes back there. Really only found a few pieces of dog scat where the dog had gone to the bathroom, and it looked really old. So I don't even know if this dog exists.
So I'm looking at these. 3 and 4 are the ages, and I'm trying to, you know, a 3 and 4-year-old, if they're going to wander out, I don't know how far they're going to get, right? Obviously, they've been walking for a while, been walking for a few years, each one of them, so they could skedaddle out of there. But it's 2 of them. That, to me, that's the other part of this, that for someone to grab 2 children is it seems much more challenging, much more difficult to do, especially of that age.
Exactly. And that's, you got to look at the risk that the suspect, if it is a suspect, is willing to take. And grabbing one, yeah, but that leaves one behind screaming and yelling for help. I looked at even the registered sex offenders in the area, and by the kind of offenses they've committed, they didn't really focus on children this age. So you kind of throw that out as you look at what's really making a lot more sense. And I keep going back to the fact that nobody saw the children before this. For some reason, only 4 children, not these 2, get sent to grandma's house at the time they disappear. Neighbor's video only shows 4 of the children getting into a van, if you can trust the quality of the video. And it just keeps making you go back and ask the question, were they really there?
Yeah, and as you said, as you mentioned, the Bakersfield Police Department, which is, I think it's about 60 miles away, has taken over the investigation. That's where they're originally from. That's also where the grandmother lives. So, a lot of challenges here. It's a story we're going to continue to cover here, and we're going to show you more of that press conference a little bit later in the program. Mike King, always great to have you on, Profiling Evil.
Thank you, Vinny.
Check it out on YouTube, folks. Thanks so much.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick refresher on the West case. I have great hopes that Bakersfield Police Department is going to be able to put a case together and bring some resolution to this. Children's issues are really important to me. If you get a moment, you might see what we've done to help the Children's Justice Centers. These are child advocacy centers. We made a special announcement today, and if you go to the link down below or the one above, you can read more about it and listen in to our YouTube broadcast. It includes the victims from a case that occurred more than 30 years ago. I don't think you'll want to miss this. And thanks again to my friend Vinny for letting me join him on the show tonight.